I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Today we're reading from the book of the Revelation, chapter 12, so let's focus on verses 10 and 11. And then I heard a voice in heaven say, "The salvation and the power and the kingdom of our God and the authority of His Messiah have now come, because the accuser of our brothers has been thrown out, the one who accuses them before our God day and night. They conquered him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, for they did not love their lives in the face of death." Revelation chapter 12, verses 10 and 11. When I was a kid, I used to fake being sick just so I could stay home and watch TV at my grandparents' house. My folks didn't have cable, but my grandparents did. And one of my favorite old cable TV shows was Perry Mason. Remember that? Forgotten by most people. Perry Mason was a show about an attorney. It was the old school Law and Order. And no matter what the case, Perry Mason always had a way of winning. Back in the days when, remember, Andy Griffith was still the sheriff, Andy Taylor? Well, Perry Mason was the man. And the key to portraying a good courtroom drama is in making the spectator believe that the innocent client is going to be found guilty and that the evil will win out over justice. But then right at the end, when all hope is lost, new evidence and a surprise witness shows up. And based on this new evidence and the testimony, the judge had no option but to throw the case out of court. Truth and justice prevailed. Now that's good TV. And that's similar to what happens in the Revelation chapter 12. Satan is the prosecuting attorney. He's the accuser. And Israel, the church, they are the ones who are being accused. And there is the irrefutable evidence of our sin set against the backdrop of God's standard. And finally, there's that last minute evidence of the blood of the Lamb, atoning for the sin of the believers. Oh yeah, Jesus says, oh yeah, they're sinners, no question about it, about as bad as you've ever seen. They all fall short of your standard, but here's the evidence. My blood was shed for them, and they have accepted it. That last minute evidence is coupled with an eyewitness testimony of the Messiah's act of redemption by those who love the Lord above their own lives, even in the face of death. These are the martyrs, and those who were willing to testify on behalf of the Messiah to the point of their personal physical death. The Lord's judgment is to throw out the whole case from court, along with the accuser himself, and holding him in contempt. Did you know that your accuser is before the Lord even at this very moment? Are you confident that Jesus is your attorney, that He is your advocate, as the Bible says? Or are you still attempting to defend yourself before the righteous judge? You know what they say about the man who defends himself in court? He has a fool for a client. Images to consider when reading this chapter, according to reputable theologians. Verses 1 through 5 depict Jesus' birth and His ascension into heaven after being resurrected. The woman in the narrative is not Mary, Jesus' mother. You can compare that to Isaiah 66, verses 7 through 10, Isaiah 26, verse 17, and even Micah chapter 4, verse 10. Rather, the woman, not being Mary, Jesus' mother, the woman is Israel, from whom Abraham's seed has come. The dragon is, of course, Satan, and the rest of her children are the Gentile believers. After having failed to destroy Jesus, Satan seeks to destroy both Israel, from which believers will still be emerging in those last days, and he's trying to destroy the church, which bears Jesus' name. Isn't it good to know that you have Jesus as your attorney and that He has the evidence to get you off of an eternal charge? I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Check us out at groundworksministries.com.